Is there what should be our next?
Well, I don't know.
Choice.
We've covered the
Lovely
career of.
choice.
How about Christmas Evil? That's a good one.
Christmas Evil.
Because it's one of those ones that mashes up holidays,
and that we've done at least some spoofs of that we've written, but we've never actually published our splatter comedies.
Yeah, well, we weren't basing it specifically on this movie, but
not really.
This is actually one of John Waters' favorite movies. He's gone on record as saying
John Waters
that this is the one Christmas movie that he thinks everybody
You
should
reviewed
see.
Serial Mom, but you forgot to review all of the other ones in here. All the other John Waters movies. But for now,
yeah.
But anyway, here's Christmas Evil. Well, you would have eventually.
Yeah, I never got around to reviewing everything I'd ever seen, but
me neither. But I have quite a lot more over there in the Google channel. I ported my stuff over to Google 2 years ago, and then put it all over there, and of course rewrote some of it and everything. So I've had this Google Reviews, KATS Reviews channel thing for some time, and I review current stuff too and put it on there. And then it ends up sometimes in a video form on the video tab.
Yeah.
Anyway, shameless plug.
Yes, check it out. So Christmas Evil. This is John Waters' idea of a Merry Christmas. What this is
1980.
It's one of those one-hit wonder movies where the writer and director of it, as far as I know, he never really made any other movies, or if he did, I don't know what they are or where they ever ended up. But so this was like in the early 80s, 1980, I think. And he made what is ostensibly a horror movie, but which is actually so bizarre and strange that it's almost like this weird Fassbinder-like art house experiment, more than an actual horror movie. It kind of goes through goes through the motions of being a slasher movie, but it isn't really one. It's actually this very kind of poignantly bittersweet and sad portrait of this guy who's obsessed with Christmas. But not in like when you watch a movie like Silent Night, Deadly Night, the guy's obsessed with Christmas, the killer guy, but it like makes him angry, and he's like, it sends him into this homicidal rage. In Christmas Evil, it's more sad than that. The guy genuinely worships and loves the idea of Christmas and the innocent wonder that it embodies so much that when he finally snaps and kills people for not respecting Christmas, he's kind of sad about it as much as anything. It's more of a tragic film than anything in its own messed up, weird, surreal, dream logic sort of way. So while it kind of has horror movie elements, there's killings in it, some of them are pretty gory. There's a lot of scenes where, actually probably the most disturbing and creepy scene in the entire movie is not a kill scene. It's about halfway through the movie, and he's been spying on all the kids in the neighborhood, taking notes like who's naughty and who's nice. No. You don't really know at this point what he's planning on doing about it, but he's just sort of obsessively watching in his apartment, which is covered with Christmas paraphernalia, like 24/7, 365 days out of the year. It's just all Santa Claus and reindeers and everything. But he's like this kind of schlubby, nice guy. You feel bad for the guy. So he's slowly spiraling into madness as like the commercialism of Christmas is just grinding his spirit down. And so this little kid living across the street, he's decided is a naughty boy. And so he sneaks out late at night and creeps up to this kid's house, puts his hand in some mud, and just makes this weird sort of runic symbol, threatening-looking swoosh on the kid's bedroom, like the outside of his bedroom wall, the outside of the house, and then just kind of creeps off again, and you're just like, what the hell was that? That was creepy as hell. I don't recall that he ever actually kills the kid or anything. He kills some other people, but then the ending of the movie is so awesome. I'm going to have to spoil it for you here. There's no way to talk about it without spoiling it, but it was made in 1980, so fair game as far as I'm concerned. So eventually a mob of angry townsfolk decide to track him down and kill him because he's been killing people. So
Mob Justice. Crazies meets Mob Justice.
Yeah, kind of. So he's decked out in this Santa outfit, and he's painted his van to look like Santa's sleigh. So he's driving around town.
I read that part.
And the mob is chasing him.
Yeah, the mob is chasing him.
So what you find out when you watch the commentary track is the director is explaining okay, so what actually happened here. And when you rewatch the scene, you realize that as the van, it seems like it's flying off, you actually hear a crash and an explosion. And what the director was going for was that that's just what his final thoughts are. He imagines that he's becoming Santa Claus, but actually his van just, nosedived off the embankment and exploded and he's dead. Which, is this, in keeping with the movie, this kind of sadly over-the-top, bizarre, ending. But just, they didn't do the sound effect quite right. It's really not clear what's happening. So the way it plays in the movie is basically the killer flies off and becomes Santa Claus for real. So, the next time you're at the mall and Santa's there, you just picture... At one point, he was stabbing people in the eye with tin toy soldiers, but he's all better now. And the really interesting thing, too, is that the actor playing the killer Santa in this, his daughter in real life ended up going on to become Fiona Apple, a very popular, famous singer. And special mention, too, of a scene that was improvised, largely. There's a scene in an orphanage, or like there's this big gathering of kids, and they believe that the Santa that's shown up is the one that they've hired to entertain the kids. It's actually the killer Santa. And at first he's delighted to be like entertaining the kids, and the parents have no idea he's actually the killer that's wandered around town. And he's just sort of telling the kids, you really need to be... His voice kind of sounds like Garfield from the cartoons, which makes it all that more magic. It's like, you kids, you've got to really respect your parents, and...
You're going to be respectful.
Not quite that breathy, but... Yeah, so he's talking to the kids, and... Well, this was before Bill Murray.
Carlton the Doorman. Before him.
Yeah, the original one. But so he's telling the kids, you respect your parents and be a good boy and girl and everything. And the kids in this scene are apparently a lot of this was improv. They don't realize that this is a horror movie, and so halfway through the guy's monologue, he kind of gets this sad look on his face, and he says, "But if you're a bad kid, then Santa will bring you something horrible." And he just sounds so threatening and sad at the same time. And you cut back to the kids, and they are genuinely shocked and frightened. They're just like, "Oh." And then, but that's okay, kids. Anyway, it was going to be a good Christmas. And he goes running off. And it's when you were listening to the commentary, it's that much more magical just because it was like they didn't tell the kids they were going to do that. So, anyway, highly recommended. Christmas Evil, obscure as hell movie, but well worth tracking down. A lot of fun.
This is the part of the commentary track where he... the clumsy editing.
Oh yeah, I went on all about the magic flying van ending that really was just a case of the sound editing just didn't work the way the director wanted. He was going for ironic juxtaposition, and instead it just looks like the killer became actual Santa, which is awesome.